Hello, I'm Jude Currivan. Welcome to my 16-module co-creative and experiential exploration of our conscious revolution, empowering our transformational journey to whole being and belonging. In this overview, I'll summarize the entire course so that we know the sort of journey we're on together. So let's begin with the title itself and the significance of every word in it. And to help us really sense into what's coming, I'm going to share my screen and a few slides, and I'll be in the corner. So I'm very much with everyone and with you, but I'll put my slides on that basis. So here we are, our conscious revolution, empowering our transformational journey to whole being and belonging. So let's start with the word our, because so much of the journey that we've been on have been, in terms of awakening, expanding our awareness, has often been on an individual and a personal basis. But we've now come to a collective moment of choice for our entire human species on this planet. What are we going to choose? Are we going to stay in the illusion of separation and fall into fear? Or are we going to come together and take a great leap, an evolutionary leap of love? And conscious, what we're aware of, we're aware of. What we're not aware of, we're not aware of. Our conscious minds process about 50 bits of information per second, whereas our subconscious mind and our autonomous nervous system processes millions of bits of information per second. So what we are aware of and what we choose to focus on really matters. As we go through this journey together, we'll see just how our thoughts, our words, our actions reverberate. We are vibrational beings. We don't have mind and consciousness, we are, and the whole world is mind and consciousness. So our consciousness, our awareness radiates in ways that often we're not aware of, or we're aware of, but we don't know how it's going to affect others. So more focus, more perception, more realization that how we think, what we say, as well as how we act really matters. We're talking now about a revolution, beyond an evolution, beyond a sort of iteration of small incremental steps. This can truly be, and has the potential to be, a revolutionary leap in the story of humanity, and therefore in the story of our planetary home Gaia and the entire universe and cosmos. So I'm calling it revolution to really emphasize the transformational nature of it. Empowering. We talk a lot about the power we have or we don't have, but often we couch it in terms of our personal power, our in a way, our ego-based power. What we're speaking to here is transcending our me-powerment to empowerment, where we're literally serving our soul contract in being here, our higher purpose in being here, and in service to others. We're empowering ourselves to empower the whole world. And transformation, as I mentioned earlier, this is a potentially revolutionary time, our moment of choice. So in that regard, we're talking about transforming how we perceive ourselves, each other, our planetary home Gaia, the whole universe, and the entire infinite and eternal ground of being that is the cosmos. And it's a journey. I know that word's so overused, but the word itself comes from the French, la journée, meaning day by day. And so it is a journey of step-by-step progress and process. And at the completion of our journey together, the journey continues. And what is it a journey of? Again, we talk about well-being, but my dear friend, evolutionary biologist Elizabeth Sartoris, using a beautiful metaphor of our consciousness forming all the notes of a piano keyboard. So just as a piano keyboard has low notes and middle notes and high notes, so the entirety of our consciousness, our human awareness and our transcendental and transpersonal awareness are all notes on that entire keyboard. So when we talk about well-being, we often sort of describe it as physical well-being, mental well-being, emotional well-being. I'm expanding this to whole being. So we bring in every aspect of our consciousness, you know, our divine spiritual awareness together with our human experience, because they're all aspects of that same piano keyboard of our individuated awareness and consciousness. And the last key word in this title of our journey together, our course together, is belonging. We're going to talk a lot and explore a lot and experience this sense of unity and the evidence now that shows that unity isn't just an aspiration, it's our existential reality. Unity isn't an ideal, it's real, as my dear friend Julie Kroll talks to. And my dear friend Joni Carley also talks to. These are my companions and many, many others in this wondrous homecoming to who we really are. And we talk about unity then, unity expressed in diversity, because unity is not uniformity, as we'll see on this 16 module way forward together. Unity is expressed, universal unity is expressed in radical diversity. But perhaps beyond unity and diversity, and even unity in inclusivity, is unity in belonging. Because when we know we belong, we don't have to be invited to the party. And so this is a journey to remembering that we truly belong to ourselves, each other, Gaia, the whole universe, the whole cosmos. So beyond this first module, our overview of the course, I'm dividing our journey into 4 parts. The first part will cover modules 2 to 4. And what we will, and I stress this will be experiential and co-creative, in that with each module, I'll be inviting us into an experience. And in some modules, I'll be offering a guided visualization or an attunement. So in these modules of 2 to 4, we'll be exploring how our entire universe, our planetary home Gaia, and we embody an evolutionary impulse. Our universe began 13.8 billion years ago, not in the implied chaos of a Big Bang, but as a first minute, exquisitely ordered and amazingly fine-tuned first moment of an ongoing big breath. And that ongoing big breath has led over that intervening time of 13.8 billion years from the initial simplicity of hydrogen atoms to ever greater levels of complexity, individuated awareness, and a sense more and more of a universe that is learning to know itself ever more deeply through its complexity and innate interbeing. And we'll go beyond that to our planetary home, Gaia's own journey for the last 4.5 billion years, our beloved, beautiful blue-green world with its abundance of water that's been able to nurture even more complexity in terms of her biological organisms that have gone from single-celled to multi-celled to us with our 37 trillion celled bodies, which is a community of life. But throughout the whole of our course, I'm going to be describing life way beyond its biological expression. For what we'll be seeing is a universe that itself is living, innately conscious, sentient, and existing to evolve. So in part 2, which covers modules 5 to 8, we'll be describing a whole worldview instead of a fragmented worldview of materialism and separation. We'll be seeing how an emergent cosmology of a conscious and evolutionary universe supports this journey of our revolution, of our transformation. And it does so based on evidence at all scales of existence and numerous fields of research. The scientific breakthroughs of the last few years are turning the hitherto mainstream cosmology of a material world of separation that effectively is bereft of meaning and purpose completely on its head, to converge with indigenous wisdom teachings, ancient interspiritual teachings, to reveal the unified nature of reality, of a universe that is innately, non-locally unified as an entity that exists to evolve, as I mentioned, to ever greater levels of complexity, and a whole world where mind and consciousness haven't evolved as accidents through this entire process of evolutionary emergence, but were there from the very beginning. A universe where mind and consciousness aren't something that we have, but literally what we and the whole world are. In part 3, which is modules 9 to 12, we're going to journey together along 3 integral paths to conscious revolution and whole being: the path of the sage, the path of the shaman, and the path of the seer. And traditionally, those were in a way different yet complementary paths, but traditions tended to emphasize one way. And the way of the sage is the way of the mind, of the understanding the deeper nature of reality. And now, with the scientific breakthroughs that are converging with ancient sage wisdom, we're able to take things forward in an incredibly and remarkable way to really empower and support us, as I say, on this next evolutionary leap of our human experience. And we'll go beyond the traditional 7-fold chakra system of our individuated and personalized awareness, our persona, our sense of egoic self, to a 12-fold unity-based chakra system, an informational and meaningful, informed perspective of who we really are. And along that route, so we'll focus in the first module of this part on the way of the sage. We'll then move on to the way of the shaman, which is the way of experience of the web of life in which we are embedded. It's a very heart-based, love-based path, and it of itself offers us deep, deep experiential insights that very much complement the other 2 paths into integration, into wholeness. And the third path of the seer is the way of purpose. It's the way of the mystic. It's the way of opening ourselves to what can flow through us if we put aside our expectations and, in a sense, our knowingness, and just move into our gnosis of perception. And now those 3 can be seen to interweave deep insights from each, complementing and creating a path that in a way is greater than the sum of its parts. So mind, heart, and purpose, not just to integrate, but literally integrate the wholeness of our being. And in part 4, which covers modules 13 to 16, we'll explore how this conscious revolution is ours here and now. It is ours to choose here and now, and to come together and link up and lift up and light up and level up here and now. So we'll be looking at the ways in which we can act local, feel global, and think cosmic as we breathe out and we breathe in. The acting local is what's here, what is ours to do, what's in front of us, what makes our hearts sing. What can we do to serve the greater good of all beings here and now? And it may feel very small, but the beautiful thing about our universe's universal consciousness is when we offer a small act of kindness or a loving smile or a small action that seems very local, the ripples of those effects go where we know not. And it's not about how it benefits us. It's going back to what I was saying a little bit earlier. How can we empower others? So this includes the way of being a servant leader. How can we serve the good of the whole? It involves becoming beyond a role model and not taking ourselves seriously in doing so. But how can we be a soul model? How can we be our authentic selves in that wondrous adventure that we're all on? And how can we attune and align with the evolutionary flow of the entire universe as it flows through us? So acting local, and then feeling global, realizing that beyond perhaps seeing ourselves as part of a human family, or even part of a planetary home, Gaia's family, we can acknowledge ourselves and realize ourselves as Gaians, and that we have the potential in our conscious revolution and here and now to literally grow up, wake up and grow up. Clean up all the trauma of our, the apparent separation that we bought into for so long, and heal our relationships with ourselves, each other, and Gaia. And so feel global and know that we are Gaians. And think cosmic, because up to this point, the parts we've covered, experienced, journeyed along, are literally revealing that we are microcosmic co-creators of our entire universe. What a wonderful time, what a wonderful opportunity it is to be together now. So at this point, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that we can see each other. I can't see you, but I can feel you, but I can know that you can see me properly now. Welcome to this journey. Welcome to this co-creative and experiential exploration of our conscious revolution and how we can empower a transformational journey into our whole being and belonging. This is who we really are, and this is who we can remember and evolve to become.